Now from the Gio and Ursula Show, here is Ursula Reutin.
Good morning.
We have another social media lawsuit. 42 states, including ours, suing Meta because of the damage that, I guess, Instagram and Facebook can do to teenagers. So where do you come down to this? Is this the right approach?
I would normally say, hey, why aren't parents taking, care, and why isn't it the responsibility of the parents and the kids who are getting on social media? But when you look and when you hear what Facebook or the parent company of Facebook and Instagram actually has admitted to doing to try to hook our kids onto social media, I'm all for this lawsuit. Specifically, knowing that more than half of U.S. teens spend at least 4 hours a day on social media, Facebook and Instagram have admitted that they knew that these things that they were doing could actually cause teenagers, especially teen girls, harm. One internal study said that 13.5% of teen girls said that Instagram makes them think of suicide. And 17% say it makes their eating disorders worse. Knowing all that, yet Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram, continued because they're hooking them really early. So they know that they actually intentionally put these things in there that make you want to scroll endlessly.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, you know what? You know what speaks? Money. And Facebook, or I have a hard time calling it Meta.
I do too.
It's
yeah,
like,
just say Facebook.
Okay, yeah. So
It's fine.
just like that.
It's like trying
X,
to call Google
formerly
Alphabet.
known as Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they have, tons and tons and tons of money. So the only thing that's going to really make them make changes would be hitting them with a lawsuit that's going to cost them tons and tons and tons of money.
It reminds me of the lawsuits against Big Tobacco.
Exactly.
That when it finally came to light that these companies knew what they were putting in there were harmful and addictive, the lawsuit was ironclad. And we are still battling that today. And it reminds me of the same thing. I know it's not a substance. I know it's not the usual addiction that we're used to. But think about gambling addiction. Think about sex addiction. Think about addictions that are external. Facebook, social media, your phones. Those are external addictions, but just as valid as an alcohol or drug addiction.
Yeah.
Addiction is addiction is addiction. And they know that it's harming children.
Yeah,
Is
it's
the
also
lawsuit going to stop it, though? People still smoke?
A lawsuit
People
can
still
mitigate the
drink?
damages. They don't drink at the same levels they used to. They don't smoke and drink at the same levels they used to. And in fact, there's a sober movement among the younger generation because they know better and they're going to do better. So I do think it helps.
Yeah, the answer to will big lawsuits and big money help? I mean, think about what happened with prescription painkillers. There were changes as a result of all those massive lawsuits. Sadly,
We're still
so
dealing
many
with-
people got addicted, or so many people died. And yes, it's still a problem. But when you have companies that admit they know that what they're doing is causing people to be addicted to their product, and yet they're going to continue to
Well,
do
they'll
it.
say it's the misuse of their product. Facebook didn't they come back and said we provide 30 different tools
Yes.
to help prevent this? Do we know what those tools are?
Well, I know some on Instagram. I've actually had to
Yes,
put
Ursula doesn't approve.
I've had to put some of those into effect because I like Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I do like Instagram. And they do have little reminders that pop up like, hey, you've been on for 20 minutes straight now. You want to take a break?
Well, that's what it is.
TikTok does that too.
Yeah. And you
Well,
can
I get
also
that too on my iPhone. It's
Yes.
time to take a break. It's
Yes.
time to go to sleep.
So
Yes.
there's personal responsibility, but there's also the admission that you are knowingly putting a product out there that harms the mental health of kids. And that's a big accusation.
And I'm not saying that parents don't have a role in this.
Sure.
And then also, young kids. With our sons, there was a point in time where my oldest son said, "You know what? I can't do it. I'm just taking myself off of social media." He says because it's just depressing. He said it's not good for my mental health. So he limited himself to he uses LinkedIn. And he uses Snapchat on occasion.
And life
but
went
the other
on?
stuff, life went on. He's, been very successful. Same with my younger son. But I know that that's not something that most kids would do. And I think I want to say it's especially been shown to be harmful for young girls. And I'm just curious, Colleen, as the mom of two girls, like, have you decided how you're going to handle your older daughter is getting to that age where she
Yeah.
might
I have to
be
take it.
interested
I have to
in
take
social
it
media.
instance by instance. But
Yeah.
what I do is I just have an open dialogue with her, and I use myself as an example. I say, when you get frustrated when I'm on my phone, but you want my attention, that's a sign of addiction to phone, and this can happen to you too. There are studies that, fortunately, I'm in the news, so I know there are studies about depression. So she's 10; she can handle talk about this may depress you, this may
Yeah.
make you sad.
Yeah.
So we just talk honestly about it.
Is she on social media?
No.
Yeah.
Not at
Yeah.
10 years old.